Hi everyone, good evening. Am I audible?
Yes,
Okay.
Sasmitha.
Yeah. So many of you have joined the last Friday class, and what we have discussed is installation, right? So I hope you don't have any issue with respect to installation. What we have done in the last class is we have installed Anaconda Python. Anaconda Python will give a lot of things. Python will be installed, Spider will be installed, Jupyter Notebook will be installed, right? And all of the packages are installed. So today we will be discussing about Jupyter Notebook at very high level. I think last class also I told you, but within 2 minutes I'll summarize. And what we will do today is basically we'll start with very basic of Python, right? And if you have any doubt with respect to Jupyter Notebook, feel free to ask me. The video recording you will get once your enrollment is done, you will be added to the drive. Everything is there. So in the drive, there is a folder called software installation. What is there inside the folder? How to install VS Code. Sorry, how to download VS Code, how to install VS Code, how to integrate VS Code with Anaconda, everything tit by tit. And then also Jupyter Notebook tutorial. So these are the prerequisites. Before you jump into the codes, you need to go through the software installation video and do the same thing in your system, right? So this is okay. So I'm just answering some question. Is this not a demo session? No, demo session. This is basically the first class, you can say. Demo session link also will be going to change maybe in 2-3 days. Nihar, is this your first class?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay. So I'll suggest you to go through the demo recordings, which is available on YouTube. If you search the recent recording, right, with my name, Sasmitha Data Science, DURGASOFT webinar, you can go through the demo recording to know more about the curriculum and all. But again, today is the first class. So we just installed Python. May I know your background? Are you completely new to Python or have some background?
Sure, ma'am, I'll tell you my background. So first of all, I completed my BCom this year and I'm working in a stockbroking company and I aspire to work in data science and machine learning. So, and a friend of mine recommended me your course. And when I called, they gave me your number. So when I called on that number, they told me that today is the demo lecture.
Okay. Yeah, so demo lecture in the sense last few classes we had this demo classes where I have explained the curriculum and also I have answered all the queries. But if you have any query, right, you can directly reach out to me through DurgaSoft. Okay. So you have their
So like
number.
in this lecture?
No, after this because it's too late. After this, yeah, around 10 o'clock, the class will finish. So tomorrow morning, you can reach out to me around 10, 10:30, 11. If you have any queries, we can connect. I'll
Sure,
answer
ma'am.
all.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah.
So around 10 o'clock, I should call you.
10, 10:30 morning. Yes.
And ma'am, on what number should I call you? Can you give me your number, please?
My number you can call to, you have this DurgaSoft number, right? You can connect through them.
This 9927372737 wala number.
Yeah, I do not. Just give me 1 second.
Okay, no problem.
Right. So you can reach out to me, Nihar, with this number I have forwarded you. And all your queries I will answer. And also I'll share you the recordings, whatever is there. You can
Sure,
go
ma'am.
through.
Sure, ma'am.
And
Thank you so
you
much.
can continue, yeah, you can continue this batch. Anyway, today is the first class. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
No problem. Okay. So, yeah. So the prerequisite for this is Python installation. So I will be sharing the video recordings and all the things that is there in the software installation folder once your enrollment is done. So you just need to go through that and you need to understand more about Jupyter Notebook, but bare minimum to start, right? What you need to understand. Yeah. you can be on mute. I'll give everyone chance. Once I complete a section, I'll give everyone chance and you can unmute and ask your questions, right? So how to open Jupyter Notebook? Last time also we have discussed this. So you have to come to this start menu or maybe your basically Anaconda prompt. And here you can search, you can type Jupyter space notebook. You can type Jupyter space notebook, right? Once you installed Anaconda Python, if you type in Anaconda prompt, not in command prompt, right? Same with Mac in your terminal or in Anaconda prompt, if you type Jupyter space notebook and hit enter, it's a local host, so it will open in your local host, any browser, right? In any browser, it will open. So this is number one. Easiest way is you just go to start and you can just search and you will find Jupyter Notebook, click on that and it will open. So once you open, I'm telling you the bare minimum. So how to start writing your first Python code, right? So you can see there are two options here. One is upload button and one is new. You need to click on this new and there are options like Python 3. I want to write my first Python script. So I'll be clicking on this Python 3, right? So this is my notebook. Let me repeat what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to write my first Python code where I will write Jupyter Notebook. How to open? Just go to Anaconda prompt and type Jupyter space notebook and hit enter. Once you get this Jupyter Notebook homepage, there are two buttons, upload button and new button. You come to this new and you select Python 3. Once you have selected Python 3, you can see a new notebook is opened. Now this Jupyter is very special notebook because not only Python, you can also write Markdown. What is Markdown? You can Google more about it. Markdown is very like HTML kind of language where not only Python code, you can write text documentation, right? You can add hyperlinks, you can add URLs, you can add images, videos, and then bullet points, headers, text, like a lot of things you can do, right? So let us start writing our first code. So this once I have created this thing, right? The notebook, I can rename it. How to rename? Just click on this untitled 3 and you name it, whatever. Let's say this is my first or maybe class practice note, right? Which module? Let's say this is Python module, right? So you just name it whatever you want or maybe only Python and rename. You all will be asking me where exactly it is saving, right? You have all option wherever you want, you can save. So whatever you are writing, let's say I'm writing my first Python program, let's say printing something. I'm just printing hello Python, right? I'm calling this print function to print hello Python. How to run any Python code once I have written. So this is the area where I will write my Python code and how to execute. So there is a run command here, triangular symbol, right? You just click on this run and it will execute the Python code. And just below the cell, this is called cell. The box is called cell. You will see the output, hello Python, right? Now, let's say you have written a lot of code, let's say 10, 15 lines or 100, 200 lines of code you have written. And finally, you want to save this, right? Always there is a button. You can see this last corner, right? You can click on this and this is saved. If you want to download this, download. I know you must be thinking I'm little fast, but these are very, very basic things that I'm talking. So, I mean, once the class is over, if you just open Jupyter Notebook, what I am saying, you can relate to everything. It's just tabs, right? You can, without me telling you also, you can explore all of these things yourself. Very simple. Run means execute. If you click on this file, there are a lot of options. Few important options I want to tell you. The very, very important option is save and checkpoint. It happened with me many times. What will happen is I will write. It is auto save, but there is a lag, right? It's not like immediately it will save. After some time difference, it will save. For example, if you don't do anything, 2047 it has saved. Maybe after 5 minutes, 10 minutes, again it will save. What will happen if in between power cut happen or something happened, system crash, server crashed, and you lost the file? That's very critical. Maybe you all your development work will go. For that reason, this is very important. You just need to click on this save and checkpoint. And what it will do, Click on this save and checkpoint and it will create a checkpoint at that particular time, right? Let me show you. So recent checkpoint is Monday, November 27th, 8:48 p.m. So right now I have clicked on this save and checkpoint. Till this point, whatever code I have written, everything is saved and checkpoint is created. So what is the benefit of getting checkpoints? In future, if something happened or crashed or something, at least you can revert back till this point. Whatever development you have done after this checkpoint, you may lose that, but till this point, you can get all the backup. Revert to checkpoint will give you till this point, whatever you have saved. This is the drawback of Jupyter Notebook, but you have to practice. In VS Code, it is not there, but in Jupyter, you have to make sure if you have done many very important development work, save and checkpoint, right? If you don't do also, auto save will happen, but sometime it is bad, right? So you have to click on this save and checkpoint. Save and checkpoint and revert to checkpoint. These 2 points are clear, right? Basically for recovery, you use this. Now you have written all of this code and you want to download. How to download? So there is an option called download as. So you just click on this download as, and there are a lot of ways you can download, right? You can download in like now notebook, Python format and HTML format. The important thing is you can also download it in HTML format. So anybody can look at your code even without Python installed in their system because it's HTML. Let's say you're sharing your code with VP, Vice President, right? You can package module and Dockerize, a lot of things you have to do, but it's a headache, right? Just to look at the output, you can just share a HTML file. You can open in browser and view your code review. So a lot of options are there. It's very flexible. Every file that we write in Jupyter Notebook using Markdown and Python, the extension is not .py. .py is Python extension which support only Python code. Let me repeat, if your file has .py at the end, script.py, right? Script.py or anything .py. So it's a Python file. If I just like in my code only Python, then that's fine. But if I'm writing Markdown means what? Let me show you some examples so that you will understand. Markdown means, let's say, let me show you a few examples, right? Let's say Jupyter tutorial session or something, right? Let's say this is something which I have prepared. This notebook I have prepared. Now you can see, my question to you is, do you think all of these things are Python? All of these things, is it Python? What I have written here, Python or text? What is all of this?
Text.
Text, yes. So this is something called Markdown, right? So any time you are writing text or Markdown like this, and along with code, right? Code you are writing, but let's say documenting the code or something. So you are writing text plus code together. The extension should always be .ipynb. The extension should always be .ipynb. So you can go here and download it as .ipynb. All my class notes, whatever I am sharing with you, if it is .ipynb, see this .ipynb, don't panic. And many people will ask me later, I'm not able to open the file that you are sharing. What file I'm sharing? Let's say I'm sharing, let's say this file, right? Let's say this is something called IPYNB format. If you download it in your system, local system, you will see it is in IPYNB format. Which format? IPYNB. You will download it. Now you will try to open it in VS Code. You will try to open it in PyCharm. My question is, will it open? .ipynb format. Can you open in PyCharm and Jupyter Notebook? Sorry, PyCharm and VS Code. Can you open? IPYNB, can you open in PyCharm and VS Code or any other ID? Spider or any Python ID? Can you open? Answer is no. Why? It has Markdown plus Python. So where you will open? If a file extension is IPYNB, it will only open in Jupyter Notebook. It is a notebook. So you have to come here. You have to click on this upload. And then whatever file you want to open, right? Let's say this file. You select that, upload it, It's already there, so overwrite, and then you can open it from here. Let me repeat, IPYNB format file you can upload and open, right? Only through Jupyter Notebook, not in any other. But you can ask me one question. I have done all the development work using Jupyter Notebook, but now my friends are using PyCharm and VS Code. They want only .py file. How I will share it with them? You can share it. So your wish, you can download it in IPYNB. And if you don't want to save the markdowns, only the code you want to share, you can download it as .py. .py extension is also there. You can come here .py. Right? And if it is .py, you can open everywhere. Right? All the Python IDs, PyCharm, VS Code, Atom, everywhere you can open. So what is the advantage? Even you can download it as PDF format. So lot of options are there. So these are the bare minimum. Apart from that, there is plus symbol. This is save. This is plus means more cell if you want. Can I write all the code in one cell? Yes. Can I divide my code and write multiple cell, multiple block of code? Yes. So it will execute block by block. How it will execute? Cell by cell. Right? Let's say in this cell, I'm writing data pre-processing code. This cell, I'm writing data cleaning code. This cell, I'm writing data training modeling code. So you can like divide your code into multiple blocks. Each block you can write in one cell. It is cell by cell execution. And this is cut. Cut means if you want to delete any cell, you can click on this. Copy means you want to copy any selected cell and paste it. If you want to move cell up, so if I just click on this, this cell will be moving up, down, right? So these are things you can explore. Last thing is interrupt, kernel. So this is something which you should always remember. Sometimes when you run any code, what will happen is it is an infinite loop or something. The code will keep executing, never end, or memory crashed. 8 GB RAM, you are running a code which has 24 GB of data. So obviously it will crash. So you will see the Jupyter is not executing star symbol. Let me give you one example. Let's say I'm writing an infinite loop. Let's say counter equals to 5 while counter is greater than 5 is greater than 3, right? 5 is greater than 3. Let's say print counter. So it's an infinite loop. Why? Because unless the condition satisfied, it keep executing. See, if I run this, you will never get an output. You will never get your program will never end. Why? Because it's an infinite loop. Your program will never end. It's an infinite loop. Okay, so in this case, if it is an infinite loop, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, it will. So you can see it's a star symbol. What you will see, it's a star symbol. What you will do in this case? Any idea what you will do in this case? What you will do?
Stop the program.
Correct.
Pause
Stop
the
the program
program.
or kill. Yes, that is where this kernel will come into picture. So you have all options. So if you want to just stop that particular cell, you can interrupt. If you want to restart the entire thing, restart. You want to clear output, all the memory you want to clear and restart. You can do that. Restart and run everything starting you want to run it. Shut down. So all of this thing you can do. Change kernel basically if you have multiple languages. Jupyter also supports R and Scala. You can write Scala programming, R programming, Python. So you can change between kernel. But as of now, we have only Python. Right? So this is to stop the program basically. This kernel will be helpful for stopping the program. Okay. I have very less memory in C drive because I'm storing this Zoom recording. It has, that's why it is problem. Okay. Let me close this. Okay, I will pause here. So far, is it clear? Any doubt? Any doubt? What we have discussed, how to open Jupyter Notebook, how to write your Python code, how to download it, how to save it, how to checkpoint, how to kill the kernel if it is kind of crashing, right? How to insert one new cell, delete, and then how to upload IPYNB file, all of this thing. Is it clear? These are the bare minimum. Is it clear? Any doubt?
Sasmitha,
Yeah.
yeah, I already tried to install the Anaconda,
Mhm.
but I did not get this type of Jupyter notebook. Can I share my screen? It is better to once it is better to share any one of the students' screen and install that. It is better to, I think.
Yes, your enrollment is done.
No,
If
no,
done,
not after first.
so you need to confirm your enrollment because we have everything on the drive. I have shown it step by step. So you
Okay,
just need to open the video and whatever I am doing, you need to do the same. I have installed Anaconda in my system in the software installation. And also I
okay,
have given a detailed 1 hour video on Jupyter Notebook, complete video, starting from like what I am saying right now, like how to open till a point where you can write your own markdown. Very detailed video I have created, right, in the software installation. Not only that, VS Code, how to install VS Code and integrate. If not, then VS Code, leave out VS Code. When we go to VS Code, I will do it and I'll show you, right? When we go to ML projects, we need VS Code. But at least for Jupyter Notebook to start with, I think the video is sufficient. 1 hour complete tutorial is there. So you just need to do whatever I'm doing, right?
yeah,
And yeah, so that will be helpful. I have shown it actually. I have done it and shown it. I would have done it again, but I have to uninstall everything, Anaconda and all. So I have already did it. So it's easy thing. If it is difficult, then I would have done it. Just click next and done. Nothing is there. Installation, super simple. No variable, no environment path, nothing. Just click next and done. 2 minutes task, right? And then Jupyter Notebook tutorial. Then you are ready. You can start coding. Once you're
okay,
comfortable, later we will switch to VS Code. But after
okay,
you use Jupyter for some days,
okay,
right?
right.
Just
Okay,
a quick question. Sorry, I joined late.
no problem. Yeah.
Why are we using Jupyter and not the other IDs like PyCharm and VS Code? Is there a
No, no.
reason?
Yeah. So there is no reason. So it's our personal choice. We will be using VS Code for MLOps. Actually, VS Code more we will use as compared to Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook we are learning because later when we go to Jupyter Lab, inside Jupyter Lab we have Jupyter Notebook, and you go to any cloud platform because it is on cloud machine. The only ID you will get is Jupyter Lab. Have you used anyone? In AWS, you go to Azure, you go to Databricks, you go to Google Colab. It's Jupyter Lab,
Yes,
isn't
ma'am.
it?
Yes, ma'am.
Jupyter
I am
Notebook.
using in image processing.
Correct. So, and for mostly for data science applications, um, later we will package it and deploy it. First, we will develop it, right? After development only, we will package it. Development will not happen suddenly. Lot of things you need to do trial and error. Okay, so you want to do this, you want to do that, logic you need to try. So for any trial and error, Jupyter Notebook is best. It is not good, and we will be moving to Jupyter Lab where multiple script you can run at a time, like VS Code. So the advantage of Jupyter Lab and Jupyter Notebook is good for research purpose. When you are in very initial development, let's say pilot project you are doing or proof of concept, you are not sure, you are trying, maybe it's working, not working, developing the code. Once you are done with your coding, right? Once everything is done, then you can take it to VS Code and then you can make it like operationalizing another thing. But VS Code, it's a script way, right? Mostly if it is graphs and charts, because data science project has a lot of charts. So if it is charts, graph, lot of visualization thing you are doing, right? Jupyter is so good looking. So you can actually view the charts nicely. Whole page you can use. But in VS Code and other thing, charts will come in picture format, or I mean that is not so convenient. You have to go switch. Here, just write the code and see. It's like line by line kind of execution. So I mean both are very nice. What I'm saying is for research purpose, initial stage, Jupyter is good, and later always anyway we are going to use VS Code, right?
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'll tell you the difference
Ma'am, I
between
have one doubt.
yes, yeah.
So ma'am, suppose our file is containing code and markdowns, and the moment we convert it into .py, it will drop that markdown
Yes,
thing, or
it will drop.
okay,
Comment it.
okay,
It will comment it.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So more on this, we will discuss tomorrow. So every day 8:30 you join, and 30 minutes will start from core Python, right? So today we are going to start with a very, very new concept, and it is not Python. It is a very, very new concept, and we'll start from scratch so everybody will understand. And the topic, before I jump into the topic, I will talk about some basics about the new topic that we're going to start, right? So let's say when you are working in any MLOps project or machine learning data science related application when you are building, right? The main input, can you tell what is the input for your project? What is the input from, like, what you need to start building an application? Like for web development, maybe the input is UI design or something like that. For data science project, for MLOps project, machine learning application, when you create, what is the input to every project? What is the input? Can anybody guess? What is the input? Input is data, right? Without data, can you do anything?
Data.
Yes. So input is data, right? Now we will discuss about data first, right? Because data engineering, data science, data analytics, data analyst, everything is around data. So let us understand whole world data, how much data we have. Every data we can divide into 3 categories. All data can be divided into 3 types. The first type of data is called structured data. Structured data. And we all know examples of structured data, basically SQL data. We have this different kind of other database, RDBMS data. So those are structured data. This is one category. Second category is semi-structured data. Semi-structured means not strictly like structured, like we don't have a primary key, strict schema structure, but it has some structure. So that is semi-structured data. And the third category of data is something called unstructured data. Right? Now from each type, let us give us some example. Here it is SQL, right? Now for semi-structured data, the example is XML file, JSON file, right? Let's say we have this CSV, comma separated file. We have Excel file. So we have all of these different kind of files. Those are semi-structured files. And then we have unstructured. What is this unstructured? Can anybody give me some example of unstructured file? Unstructured file. Yes. No, that is a database, but unstructured file.
It's not in a proper way, not in a sequence.
Give me 1 minute. I think the link is changed, so people are not able to join. Give me 1 minute. Right? Okay. So yes, so unstructured data, yeah, MongoDB is correct, but MongoDB is to handle semi-structured data, we use MongoDB, that's correct. But what is the type, like unstructured data example? So if I ask you to give me example. Word data. Yes, text data. So all this like, okay, so when you're going to Flipkart or Amazon, let's say you're giving reviews, right? When you're posting images in Facebook, that's the image file. So you have image, you have this text data. So all of these things are which kind of data? It is unstructured data. So text data, image data, all of these are unstructured data. So we have structured data, semi-structured data, and then unstructured data. Whole world data, audio data, speech data, text data, image data, everything is in unstructured CSV, XML. You give me anything like any OCR file, Parquet file, anything that's semi-structured. So I can divide it into 3 types. Now, as you are a data scientist, or you are a MLOps engineer, or you are a data engineer, you are scientist or expert in data, right? If I am a client, today if I am giving you XML, let's say you are working for PhonePe or Paytm. User is using or logging into the session, to the app by username and password, the session data. User is giving some comments on social media about Paytm. That is text data. User is doing some transaction, let's say UPI transaction. So that is structured data. So here you have a combination, the same company Paytm, let's say you are working here, but how many different types of data you're collecting? Reviews you're collecting, right? You are collecting, let's say for PhonePe or Paytm, some picture somebody has posted, that you are collecting. All the transaction data you are collecting, user session data you are collecting, right? So different formats of data you're collecting. So tell me, first of all, to become a data scientist or to become a data engineer, you have to learn tools and techniques which will allow you to handle all this kind of data. Is it clear? Now you tell me which all tools you should learn. Coming to structured data, SQL is sufficient, right? Handling structured data, SQL is sufficient. Handling means what? Collecting data, pulling data, right? Where clause. And then once you collected the data, maybe you will do some order by where clause, right? All of that thing. That is structured data, SQL is sufficient. Now, if it is unstructured data, what you will use? You have to use all of this OpenCV, right? You will be using OpenCV. Then you will be using OpenCV, by the way, it's a computer vision package. You'll be using text platforms, right? You'll be using text platforms. So these are the, like, let's say NLTK you will be using. So these are the unstructured data. Semi-structured data, what you will use? Any idea? Anybody? Now you tell me. For handling, let's say I'm giving you a CSV file. Tell me what you will do. What you will do?
Libraries.
Excel.
Correct. So what I will do, okay, if it is a structured data, you know SQL, you know how to select query, you know join, you know where clause, sort by, right? All of these things you can handle. If I give you a CSV file, now tell me what you need to do. I am giving you user session data in CSV format, 5 GB of CSV data. Tell me a tool which will help you to handle in Python. Tell me the name of the tool which will help you to handle semi-structured data. Any guesses?
Pandas.
Correct. And this is where Pandas is like the most important data manipulation library, and it is so sufficient. It's all in one. So it is like it is SQL for semi-structured data. If you ask me in one line, what is Pandas? Pandas is the SQL for semi-structured data. Is it clear? Now you can tell why it is there. So you can load CSV file into, and it is giving a data structure called data frame and series, but data frame. So you will, like table in SQL, we have data frame in Pandas. And what it will do? Collect everything into data frame and do whatever you want to do. You can select rows, you can select columns, you can select subset, you can filter. How you're doing filter in Excel, you can do that. You can write functions to apply on a column. You can group by, you can pivot table, you can merge, you can join, concatenation, inner, outer, left, right. You can do a lot of things. Whatever you are doing with SQL, everything you can do on semi-structured data using Pandas. As a data scientist, as a data analyst, as a data engineer, as a data professional, doesn't matter. You have to be very, very expert in Pandas to handle semi-structured data, right? Okay. Now, this is one thing. And the other category, though it is little not so to the content, but I'll just explain. Other type of data is big data, huge volume of data in summarized way, huge volume and less volume. Huge volume and less volume, right? And other category of data is batch data, batch processing. Basically, it's not the data, but how you want to process the data. Is it a batch processing data or streaming data? So these are broadly, these are the categories of data. You may get structured data. You may get huge volume of structured data. You may get less volume of semi-structured data. You may get less volume of streaming data, which is semi-structured, or you may get unstructured data, huge volume. Or you may get streaming data, unstructured, but less volume, huge. It's a combination. For every combination, you have to learn tools and techniques. Overall, you have to learn SQL, Pandas, MongoDB, Spark. These are the four major framework. What are the four major framework? I'm just ignoring this unstructured as of now because itself is a huge ocean. So I'm just commenting it out. Let us not focus now on unstructured. It's an advanced thing, but structure and semi-structure, use and less volume, batch and streaming, all of these things you can handle if you learn just four things. That is SQL. Other thing is Pandas. Other thing that you need to learn is something called, you need to learn SQL, Pandas, Spark, you need to learn Spark. And then you need to learn what?
NumPy.
Yeah, NumPy is there, but majorly, yeah, SQL, Pandas, Spark. Yeah, that's it. Because Spark has this streaming, Spark streaming. So you can handle streaming. Spark has SQL, so you can handle batch, huge volume. Less volume, then you can handle Pandas for batch. Streaming, you have this Kafka and Spark. Again, structured, you can handle using SQL. So I think if you learn this four, right, you can handle everything. Give me structured data, give me semi-structured data, give me huge volume, give me less volume, give me batch processing, give me streaming. Example, streaming is like live cricket is going on, live cricket match is going on. So you are watching the dashboard, right? Or Corona dashboard, if you remember. Do you think it is okay to update the dashboard once in a week, or it should be updated immediately? Tell me. Corona dashboard, it should be immediately updated within seconds, or it is okay to process it once in a week?
Immediately.
Immediately, that is streaming, right? Now let's say you're predicting sales
Yes.
for HP for next quarter. Is it so urgent, like within seconds you need, or tomorrow if you predict, that is okay? For next quarter, if you predict tomorrow, that is okay, right? That is batch processing. So entire processing is also depends. Streaming the way, and people say, okay, if you do project, every section, structured data, use volume. Structured data, less volume. Semi-structured data, use volume. Semi-structured data, less volume. Structured data, use volume, batch. Semi-structured data, use volume, batch. Structured use streaming. Structured less streaming. So every combination, if you do one project, there is no interview you cannot crack. Entire world data science project, whatever you are watching. So I'm leaving this unstructured. Itself is an ocean, as I said. Why I'm saying there are two tracks. You can become two. You cannot be expert in everything. Initially, you should know everything, but you should be expert only in one. One is this domain, structured and semi-structured expert. You are an expert in structured and semi-structured, or you are expert only in unstructured. You cannot be expert in both because everything is huge. If you're expert in structured and semi-structured, these are the things: ML engineer, data scientist, MLOPS, data engineer, all of these roles. Unstructured, computer vision scientist, NLP, natural language processing, right? NLP, text mining. So there are different roles. People who are expert in unstructured data, handling itself is an ocean. They will be building ChatGPT, generative AI, this adversarial network, so deep learning, high level deep learning concepts, reinforcement learning. So that topic is completely different. Do not expect to be expert in everything. You cannot, right? You have to choose one, either structure semi-structure combination with batch streaming and use less volume, or unstructured. Is it clear to everyone now? Is it clear? So now you got an idea. Any kind. Now tell me, any data role, is it domain specific or it is data specific? Tell me. Data projects are data specific or domain specific? What specific? It is data specific, not domain. Are you getting? Domain training within 15 days you can get. Are you getting? You are working in aviation. You switch to, you see my career. I worked in Goldman Sachs, which is investment banking with zero finance knowledge. I'm a computer science background, right? Zero in finance, nothing I know. Upgraded myself. Then I switched to General Electric, right? It's a completely different domain. Nowhere like it's related. GS and G, it's completely different. They are into aviation, renewable energy, healthcare. I switched from healthcare to renewable to aviation. 3 domain I have changed inside G. Then I switched to again fintech, Paytm, which is somehow relevant, but again GS and Paytm are again very different. Then I moved to, are you getting? So I am able to switch, or any data scientist or any data engineer will switch, because domain very quickly you can learn. 1 month, 2 month, 3 month training is enough. But what is your main idea is data specific project. So that was I was saying in the demo session. So in this course, we are majorly focusing on this 2 part. Structured, I think you know, SQL I'm not, but semi-structured with all of this combination. Is it clear, everyone? I will maybe share this Apache Spark. You can reach out to me one-to-one. Except this stream and hues, rest all combination, we will do one project. And also unstructured LLM project, we will do one. But is this clear? Everyone got an idea about the entire ecosystem? Is it clear now? I'll pause here. Any doubt? You understood where pandas is fitting? Why you are learning? Very important. Is it clear, everyone? Why you are learning pandas? Who can tell in one line? Why you need
To handle
pandas?
semi-structured data.
Correct. Not huge volume. If I give you petabytes of data, can you do it using pandas, even if it is CSV format? No. For that, you need to use Spark SQL. So semi-structured, less volume, right? Now this is subjective. Less volume means what? Again, it depends on your system, right? Normally, if it is petabytes, zettabytes of data, pandas is not the tool, right? If it is in GBs, maybe pandas you can handle using semi-structured. Sorry. Semi-structured data, pandas you can use. Now, as you understood about pandas, now let us understand details. So we have a huge list, lot of functions, many things are there. We will be moving to a project-based training soon. But having said that, very basic things you should know. Then only you will understand. So 1 or 2 session, I'll tell you the basics. And then we will move to a project. Project means I'll give you a data set. We're going to build a dashboard. So first we will do all the things using pandas, and then we will create the charts and graphs using Plotly and other things. Right? So it's a combination, visualization plus data processing. Before jumping into that, the first thing that we will learn is how to, okay, what is pandas? Pandas is 2 things in it. One is data frame and one is series. Data frame is the data structure, you can say. Like we have list, tuple, set, dictionary, lot of data arrays, we have data structures. Similarly, pandas has data frame. It's nothing new. Data frame is very common. If you go to Spark, you have data frame. If you go to R language, you have data frame. So data frame is something pandas will give you, right? It's a multi-dimensional data. If you have only one, let's say in Excel file, you have only one single column. In your Excel file, you have only one single Excel column. Now, when you load that into pandas, that is called a series. So series is one-dimensional, data frame is multi-dimensional. So don't worry about it. I will discuss in detail about series in coming classes. But we will start with pandas because in series there is nothing. It's super simple. One column, nothing to do. So we are going to start with data frame. I hope it is clear. Data frame is a part of pandas. Pandas is a tool to handle semi-structured data. Right? What we will learn about data frame. First, let us understand how to create a data frame. So input output. So as I said, your client will give you data in CSV or Excel file. Let us understand how to load that into a data frame or how to create a data frame out of a file. So for that, we have a method called read method. Before we jump into that, tell me, pandas, is it a native library or it is an external? Do you think Python, when you install Python, it has pandas in it? Do you think that? Or it's an external library?
External.
External library, right? It is created for data manipulation, semi-structured data. So it's an external library. Now, if it is an external library, you first need to install it. Luckily, Anaconda has already installed it. But in case you are not using Anaconda, you have to write pip install pandas, which will install pandas. For me, it will say requirement already satisfied. Means what? Already it is installed. By whom? By Anaconda. Requirement already satisfied, right? Because I have already pandas installed by Anaconda. Where it is everything, whatever it is installing, you will see inside side packages. Everything is installed inside side packages, right? Now, once it is installed, now what I need to do? What I need to do? I need to import any package you install. After you install, you need to import. So you need to import pandas as PD. What you need to do? Import pandas as PD, right? What is PD? Why not AD, SD? Whatever you want, you can write. It is so popular, everyone is writing PD. But you can write actually anything. It's just an alias, like how you create alias for table names. Similarly, for pandas, instead of writing pandas multiple times, I can write a shortcut. It is very popular, so I'm just writing PD, but you can give it any name, SQ, whatever, right? I'm just giving PD. PD represents pandas. So when I write this line, what is happening? Pandas is loaded into my memory, right? It's a package. Package means what? It's a class within which a lot of methods are created, or a lot of methods. I know you will not understand what is method, what is all that. So you understand it has a lot of functions. We have not written it. Already it is written by someone. And we are just calling it and using it. Eventually you will know more about it. First, you know how to load pandas into memory, how to load import. Once you have imported, all the functions now you can use. How? By calling data frame pd dot. The first function that I will use to read any file into data frame is called read underscore method. Again, if I just click on tab autocomplete, pd dot read underscore tab autocomplete. You can see how many different format of files it supports. It supports clip, it supports CSV file, it supports Excel file, HDF file, HTML file, JSON file, ORC file, Parquet file, Pickle file, SAS file, SQL file. So you can load data from SQL table, you can load data from SAS, it's a tool. Pickle, you can load it from Parquet format, ORC format, JSON format. As I said, it is the library to handle semi-structured data. So all the different kind of structure it supports. Normally, most of the time we will be using CSV. So I'm using CSV, .csv. If I want to read JSON file, what format I should use? The client has given me a JSON file. What method I should use? Read underscore what?
JSON.
JSON. If the client is telling my file is present in Hadoop, so I'll use HDF. Client is giving me ORC format, ORC, Parquet, every format is there. Let's say the client is telling, okay, I have SQL there. So give me access, give me port number and all the host name and everything. I'll connect. And then using read SQL, I will extract the table into Pandas data frame. SQL table also you can extract into data frame. But here, to start with, let us use this CSV format. Not Excel, let's say CSV. The thing is how many different parameters are there in this particular function. If I just click on this, you will see inside this read method, I have 20 to 30 parameters. You can see the first is file. Where exactly my file is present, the path I will give. That is my first. Second is separator, how I want to read the file. Then it is like I have already worked in IT like more than 10 years, but I really did not understand till now why they have two things which are exactly same. Like delimiter you can ignore. It is, I don't know, maybe if you can find, let me know, but it's not our use, right? Separator is something which is very useful. So separator is nothing but how you want to separate your file. How you want to separate your file. Tell me, in CSV format, what is the separator? How the data is separated?
Comma.
In comma. So default is comma, but if your file is @ separated, can you read it using read underscore CSV? If yes, then how? What do you need to do? If your file, every data is separated by @ symbol, not comma, @. My question is, can you read that file using read underscore method? Yes.
Yes,
Can be
using
defined
div
as a
limiter.
string, right?
Correct. In the separator, if you don't write anything, default is comma, but you can specify what is a separator. It can be any special character at the rate, exclamatory mark. Whatever is your separator, you specify that. You can see here it is infer. Infer means by default, it will take the header or column names from the Excel file or CSV file. Infer, default. You are not creating the column names. While creating the table in SQL, you create the column names. In Pandas data frame, it is automatically inferred from the file. Let's say you don't want it. Then you can write it none. None means header equals to none means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Means it will not infer the names. I will show you, don't worry. So I'm just showing you the option, then I'll show you one by one. Just remember this, right? File and then separator header. We have a lot of other options. Let us skip row, skip footer. You can fill null values, parse dates. If you have date, you can use parse dates, a lot of things. So let us start with simple. Okay, what I'm trying to do here, I'm going to read a CSV file into data frame. First is file path. So comma, within this, I will copy the path of my file. So where is my file? Let me search here. Let's say I just want to read a .csv file. I'm searching for CSV. So let's say, where is my CSV file? Okay, I just want to read, let's say this stock data. So what you need to do is copy. Can you see this? Copy. Copy the path where exactly this file is present. And then what you need to do is you need to go to your and paste it. Let me repeat what I have done. I want to read this stocks.csv data, which is present in this particular file. Right? And what I'm trying to do here is I'm just copying the path wherever it is and pasting it. And if I run this, I will get Unicode error. Let me run this. Right? And this is only in Windows. If you are using Mac system, Linux system, you will not get any error. But in Pandas, you will get, sorry, in Windows, you will get this Unicode error, Unicode. So what is this Unicode means? The path that you're giving this symbols, like forward symbols, it is treating it as a special character. It is treating it as a special character, but having said that, these are actually paths, right? So to avoid that, what you need to write R. R means raw string. You are saying the interpreter, okay, you take it as a raw string, right? So this entire thing will be taken as a raw string. R means raw string. If you don't understand what I'm saying, simple thing is Windows user anywhere, not only in Pandas, anywhere, if you are using path, you have to write R. Windows user anywhere inside your Python, if you are writing path, you have to write R before it. Or wherever you're getting Unicode error, the solution is write R, right? Okay, now when I run this, you can see entire data has been loaded. So I have date, I have IBM, I have Apple, I have Microsoft, and maybe Xerox or some company, right? And I have stock. A few values are null, but that's okay. But I have 525 rows. And there are a lot of columns like this. I can just scroll and I have a lot of columns. These are basically the stocks of different companies, right? Okay. So you can see that it has been loaded, but can you see? Okay, let me write it. So how I will hold it? I will hold it in a data frame. So df equals to this. Now, if I just want to print how this data is looking, I will call this head method. What head will do? Head will print the first 5 rows. Head will print the first 5 rows. Actually, I can print any number of rows. If I don't specify anything, default is 5 rows. If I want to print 1 row, I will write 1. If I want to print 2 rows, I will print 2. If I want to print 3 rows, I will print 3. Right? So head will actually print the data. Right? So let me again load some other file. Okay, so let's take this, right? Group on data. This is good. Okay, so any file, just I need to change the path. And see, this is another file I'm reading. Change the path and copy paste. So this is another CSV file. Any CSV file, just write the path and R in Windows. You can say this is another data. So we have this deal ID, start date, minimum requirement. You might be like little not so believing, right? So why is it correct or wrong file? Let me open it and show you. So deal ID, and then we have start date, minimum treatment, all of this, revenue and all of that, right? So it has been loaded, right? Now you can try all the other options that we have discussed. So like, for example, you just want to rename your columns. You can write header equals to none. So all of this feature column names will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, right? But this is very simple. So any file that you want to load, you have to use read_CSV method. Now you have done a lot of changes. Let's say you want to write it back. Any data frame you want to write it back, you will use to_CSV to write any data frame back to CSV file. Let's say you have done a lot of changes to your data frame. You have added few rows, added few columns, deleted few records. You have done join, group by, anything, any operation you have performed. Your client is asking you the updated data or result. So result, you can write it back to CSV. Can you share data frame to your client? Tell me. Is data frame is local or you can share it to your client? Can you share data frame to your client?
It is
Can you share
local,
it?
right?
Local. So how to share results with your client? What you need to do? To share results with your client, what you need to do?
We have to write it back to a file.
Correct. Write it in format. Again, semi-structure format. So what format it supports? Same thing. Bunch of options. To and then tab. So you can see we can write it in CSV file, dictionary file, Excel format, Hadoop file, HTML, JSON, NumPy arrays. We can write ORC, Parquet. We can write it pickle, SQL, array, XML, string. So a lot of options. Let's say I'm writing it back to CSV. Again, I have to write R and path. Where exactly I want to store? Let's say same location, but I'm giving a different name. Let's say this is 27/1/23, right? So this is today's date. This is my today's date. Right? And if I just write it, you can go back to this folder and you can see, can you I have written here only, right? Yeah. Can you see this? This has been written. If I open this is 99% of the people, they don't know this and they do this mistake. So I will tell you. Is it the same file or any extra column is added? Can anybody notice? Any extra column has been added?
A column.
Yeah, the A
A
column.
column, index, right? So this is of like kind of many people they just ignore, and right, like extra column will be added and it will actually lead to error when you process later. So do not forget this whenever you are writing. Do not forget this, very important. This parameter you need to add, that is index. You are saying index equals to false. So I don't want any index to be written. So index equals to false. If I again write it, now this time I will not have any extra column. If I don't write it, index column will be added. Right? So to method, whenever you're using, you have to use index equals to false with to method. Right? Okay, now I will take questions. Any doubt so far, whatever we have discussed? So far, is it clear, everyone?
Do we need to know all those different the options that are available in the pd.read or write? You said there are many like CSV, SQL, but we don't know a lot of the others.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, most of the time when, if you see the common situations or general things, it will be CSV, Excel, JSON, or maybe sometime XML and SQL, right? Lot of the time it is actually CSV, Excel, 90% of the time, CSV, Excel, SQL. Maybe sometime, maybe it is JSON. Very rarely it is XML.
Ma'am, YML does it support?
No. So YML also, you can modified version, you can use it. But most of the time it is not YML format, right? Most of the time it is CSV, Excel, SQL, right?
Yeah.
Sometime it might be JSON or XML. So that actually JSON and XML, it is written like read_JSON. It's not so straightforward. It is nested, right? So you have to use XML parser, JSON parser. So that I'm skipping. Only pandas cannot handle. You have to be a little careful while handling JSON and XML data. But all of this kind of data, SQL, Excel and CSV. So you have to learn about process is same, method is same, read method only, but extension is different. If I want to read Excel file, obviously I have to use read_Excel. And what you can explore further is in your Excel, let's say you have different sheets, 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. You want to read a particular page. How to do that? What you need to do is, because that's what. So when you are in least tuple, right? What I was saying. Normally, data scientists, data engineers, they forget about those because they have a lot of things to remember in everything. Are you getting? Now you can understand what I was saying. Simple read method, but you have 10, 15 options. How much you can remember? Definitely you cannot remember everything. In fact, I have also not explored 60% of it. Maybe few 40% I have explored. For example, separator, file path, header, names, this makes sense. D type, data type. If you want to specify the data type, normally we don't specify. It comes by default. And later we can change it. I'll tell you how to change it. Edge type method we can use. This is important. I'll tell you what is important. Skip rows. Okay, I'll tell you where it is important. Have you ever noticed sometimes when you read Excel files or CSV files, initial few records or rows, there will be no data. There will be like start or something, date or something will be there. And then after 3, 4 rows, data will be starting. Have you ever seen such kind of data? Are you getting what I'm saying? So from row 0, you will not get data. So row 0, 1, 2, maybe some description or something, some text. And maybe after 3, 4 records, you will see the data. Those time you will use skip rows. So what it will do? From starting, those many records it will skip. If I write skip rows equals to 4, what it will do? First 4 rows it will skip. From row number 5, it will read. Right? So skip rows to skip rows. Skip footer, what it will do? Skip footer. It will skip some of the footer. Footer means last records. Rows mean from the initial, footer means from the end. If I write skip footer equals to 0 or 2 or 3, from the end 2, 3 records, it will skip. Number of rows, how many rows you want to read? Number of rows, n rows. Let's say you have let's say I have given you 5 petabytes of data. You have 8 GB of memory. Can you read it? I'm your client.
No.
I really don't bother. I dumped the data and went. Now your manager is not upgrading your system. It will take time, let's say 1 week. You want to see the data, explore the data, maybe a small subsample of data you want to collect so that at least some dummy code you can write. So what you need to do? N rows. What it will do? You specify 5,000 or 50,000 or 1 lakh, whatever you're specifying. Sorry. Only those many records it will read. Right? Sorry. So what N rows will do? N rows will help you how many records you want to read from starting, not random, from starting. If I'm writing n rows equals to 50,000, first 50,000 records only it will read. Doesn't matter what is the size of the data, but only first 50,000. It is very helpful when you have a huge volume of data and you just want a subsample so that you can start coding, right? Similarly, one more important you can explore, that is parse dates. What is this parse dates? Parse dates means if you have a date column in your data, you can use this parse dates so that you can parse the date. Means what? It later you will understand. You convert that date into pandas date format. Panda has a date type. Date as a type, data type. So you're converting the string data, which is a date, to pandas date format. I know you could not understand. Later, I will explain it in a detailed way. We have another method for it. So these are the few things you can explore. Rest all you can ignore. If you have some time, you can explore, and let me know also if you have any extra things. Please post it in the WhatsApp group. And Spark recording, if you want, one-to-one you can ping. It is not with DurgaSoft. It is with me. I will give you, right? You can reach out to me for that. And what I'm saying is this particular method, all descriptions are there. You can explore, but this is sufficient. One more is null values. I'm not teaching you null because we have a separate class where we will only discuss how to treat missing value. Very important chapter. So missing value, better you should not treat using read. We have another method in Pandas to treat missing values. But let's say you want to fill all the missing values with 0. You can, NA value is equals to what? 0. If you write, every missing will be replaced with 0. Is it clear, everyone? So you can use this function to do a lot of things actually. Bare minimum is reading file path, separator, header, skip rows, skip footer, and rows. Is it clear? Rest all you can explore, which is not required. I have not explored till now and it is okay. Not required. Okay. Okay. Now you can ask me one more question. What I will do if you give me a data structure, another data structure, let's say list, and tell me to convert to Pandas data frame. Can I do that? Yes. One data structure, any other data structure to Pandas if you want to convert. There is another function, not read, that is called pd.dataframe method. Let's take help. So help, you should self-learn. Every function has 10 parameters, right? And now you have 100 of packages. Every packages has 100 of methods. How many you will remember? Literally nobody can remember. Eventually while using, you will know few of the things, but always take help. Help is so sufficient because it is like docstring is there. If you scroll down, you will see examples also. See, scroll down, you can see examples. Everything is there. So, I mean, you just need to take help, right? So what is the input? Input is data, like any data structure that you want to convert, index, column, d type. Remember, I will explain index, column, and d type. Okay. Let me create a list and I'll convert that to data frame. So this is list 1. So it's a nested list. The first is 45, 56, 78, and the second data frame is 89, 78, and 70, right? So this is my list 1, and what I'm trying to do is pd.data frame, and then I'm just writing the data, list 1. I will be writing it in a df1, right? Okay. So what is my df1? Let me show you my df1. So what is df1? The list has been converted to a data frame. Data frame means tabular format. Data frame means tabular format. So my list has been converted to a data frame. Right? Okay. What is the difference between any other data structure and Pandas? The difference is Pandas, both series and data frame, gives user option to rename the rows and columns. Let me repeat. The major difference is actually Pandas is created on top of NumPy, right? But NumPy arrays you cannot rename 0, 1, 2 like default. Pandas, the difference is gives flexibility to the user. If you don't rename 0, 1, 2, but if you want, you can rename both rows and column. How? By using this parameter. For example, let's say this list contains the marks of students Ram and Shyam in 3 subjects. Columns are subjects, rows are student names. Right? Now it makes no sense. This data dumping just numbers, making no sense. But I can make a lot of sense if I just rename it. I'll use index. In index, I will write the row names. The first is, let's say, Ram. And the second student is, let's say, Geeta. Let me run this. What happened? Now it makes a lot of sense. So the first record is student Ram. The second record is student Geeta. What is column? Column is 0, 1, and 2, 3 columns. These are subjects, marks. I will write columns is equals to, let's say, the name of the column. The first is, let's say, math subject. The second is, let's say, Hindi. Right? And the third is, let's say, English. If I just run this, now I will ask you, you tell, right? What is the highest mark obtained by Ram in which subject? Highest mark. Highest
English.
mark of Ram.
English.
78. Who got highest in Hindi?
Gita.
Gita. See, this is what is called real-time data processing. So once you load it into data frame, let's say this data that we have loaded, right? The file. I can just look at this data. Let's say this is my df.head of 3. Right? So you can see what is the discount percentage distribution, right? Or what is my revenue per deal? Let's say I have different deals. Per deal, what is my revenue? So a lot of things I can start date from 2000. In 2011, what is my total revenue? Can I answer that from this? Yes. Start date should be like 2011. All the 2011, you just sum it up revenue. What is my total revenue in 2011? What is my quantity sold in 2012? Right? What is the least or what is the average Facebook likes? What is the, are you getting? Now you get an idea, right? Why we are loading, because later we can do lot of processing. So this is the benefit of pandas, where you can have, why this is possible? Because of names, right? We are giving names to our rows and columns. So let me repeat, you can create data frame in 2 ways. Number 1 is if you have any existing data structure, it can be a list, tuple, any existing data structure, you can create a data frame by just writing pd.dataframe method. Within bracket, you write the data structure and write the row and column name. You can skip it. If you are skipping rows and column, default is 0, 1, 2. Second is from any existing file, you call the read method and upload it into a data frame. Right? So this is how you can create data frame. And I'll show you wonder, magic, right? I just called df1, or maybe let's say df dot, let's say df1 because it's a small data. I'll call a simple function called describe. Only one single 1, 2, 3, 7 letter word, right? And if I just execute, what I'm getting? For every subject, what I'm getting? Complete statistics, right? The count, the average, the standard deviation, the mean, minimum mark, the maximum mark, the 75% mark, the median, the standard, like the average mark. Average mark for math is 67, Hindi 67. The count, everything. And this is just a dummy data. If you look at the real data, just call describe. For every numerical column, you will see the complete statistics, right? And if you just scroll down, let's say revenue. So what is the average revenue? What is the total count? What is the average revenue? 10,000. What is the median? What is the 75%? Everything about every column within fraction of seconds, right? And like this, we have 100 of functions in pandas. So if you are expert in pandas, data handling is just, it's nothing for you, right? Pandas is very important. So like this, we will understand a lot of things, but I will pause here today and I'll repeat. Tomorrow we will talk about selection. So once we have loaded data into data frame, how to select single column, multiple column, rows, subset, conditional selection, filter, how to rename a column. So these all are the things we will see tomorrow. But today what we have discussed, we discussed a very new thing, that is pandas, right? Before we jump into pandas, we discussed about data. Sorry. Whatever data we have in this world, every data is of 3 types: structured, semi-structured, unstructured. Sorry. So structured data, we know SQL. Semi-structured data, XML, JSON, CSV, Excel, we can handle using pandas. Unstructured data, it's a huge ocean. So like we have 100 of tools, like not 100, but lot of tools. Like we have, sorry, I have dry cough. Deep learning frameworks are there. We have this LLM frameworks are there. We have bot model, transformer learning, encoders. We have reinforcement learning. We have OpenCV, NLTK, GenSim, 100 of packages to handle unstructured data. It itself is a huge ocean. Now, data can also be used or less. Data can be batch processing, streaming. If you skip the unstructured part, rest all things you can handle by using just 4 tools: SQL, Pandas, Spark, and NumPy. NumPy is also not required most of the time, 99% of time not required. SQL, Pandas, Spark, if you are strong, you can handle huge volume, small volume, batch processing, streaming, structured, semi-structured, anything, right? Okay, so Pandas first thing is data frame, multidimensional, read method to read, to method to save, data frame function to read from existing data structures, and then we have describe method to find the summary statistics of every numerical column at a time. Is it clear? Any doubt? Any doubt? Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ma'am, could you share the? Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, would
Yeah,
you
so-
share this Jupyter notepad?
Yes, I will share. I will share a very nice note, A to Z pandas, that I will share as a fair note. This note also I will share. Class note I will share. I'll upload.
Yeah, and I am also not there in the WhatsApp group. If you have met.
Oh, you are not there?
Yeah, yeah.
Your enrollment is confirmed?
Yeah, it is confirmed.
Okay. Today already it is time. Can you remind me tomorrow?
Okay,
what is
yeah.
Shyam, right?
Yeah, yes.
Shyama?
Shyama.
Yeah, Sasmitha, same for me.
Ma'am, same for me.
Okay, so no problem. So tomorrow again I will share the just remind me when we start the class, right? I will share you the WhatsApp link. You can join. Whoever has not joined, you can join.
Sasmitha, regarding reading the Excel sheets, Excel pages,
Yeah.
should be repeated one more time.
You will be using read_Excel method and give the same path. One more interesting thing is you have sheets, then you can use pd.read_. You will write Excel, right? Question mark. So you can see here there is something called sheet name. So you can write which number sheet you want to read, page 1, page 2, page 3. So that particular sheet you can read. If you don't write anything, default is page 1. So you just give the path and done. Right? Is it clear? Any doubt? You copy any Excel file in your system and copy the path and paste it. Simple. We'll read that and store it in a data frame.
Hi, Sasmitha. This is Prakash. What is the syllabus of this whole course?
Yeah, syllabus is actually you are asking all the people. Honestly speaking, I have a product release on 30th. So I am so occupied in that process. After 30th, entire December month, there is no work in my office. I'll be totally free. But I have a very important product release, MPP1. So I am not at all getting any time to prepare the project part. Syllabus is there, but the project, I already told you about the project.
Content of syllabus. Content of syllabus.
Content is there, na? In the website, it is there. You can check. The project is missing. Project and the walkthrough of projects, like how we will, what are the steps, orchestration tool, what we will do, right? CI/CD, how we will do. So though the project flow is missing in the syllabus, so projects are fixed. I already told you. One is your customer specific, mostly customer segmentation or customer behavior analysis, something related to customer we will do. Second is LLM project query board. Third is an assignment related to customer or any other domain, finance, maybe you can take one project. And fourth is your this thing, dashboard. So which we will do actually from maybe Friday. This Friday
You have
onwards.
covered the complete Python or only the pandas and part only?
No. So is this your first class?
Yeah, first class.
Yeah, no, we are starting with pandas. You're joining 8:30, right? So there we will start from scratch, Python. Today we did, you were there in 8:30?
Yeah, only the first day is from today onward this class, no?
Today onwards. So we just discussed Jupyter tutorial, right?
Yes. Okay.
Tomorrow we will discuss about variable, function, list tuple. So it will be covered.
Okay.
Core
From
Python.
okay, from basic to advanced, no? Okay, complete.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And also the 10 p.m. batch also
10 p.m.
you
batch, there is no 10 p.m. batch.
okay.
Yeah.
So Sasmitha, all the classes will be starting from like 8:30 itself now onwards, because
No,
last week.
only for 2 weeks or 1 week we will connect, and then it is 9 to 10 only.
Okay, I see that link also got expired. Like this is a demo link, right?
Demo link, yes. I think the link also, you are, so that's why if you are in WhatsApp, I'll update you, right?
All right.
Link is same link for 1 week, and after that, this batch will freeze. Another 2.5 months, 3 months, no new
All
take, right? And then we will have a same link.
Okay.
Right?
And one more thing is, when we are uploading that Saturday morning Python class?
Saturday morning, this Saturday I have not, because we have not covered much. But this coming Saturday, we will, it's a GitHub class. Everyone can join. Or maybe we can do practice. You can tell what we can do Saturdays. It's little flexible, right? If you have doubts, we will do pandas. If you don't have doubts, we will start with GitHub. So let's decide on Friday what you want, right?
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Ma'am, class time has changed. Is it going to start at 8:30 now?
No. 9 p.m. batch, 9 p.m. only. People who joined recently, for them it is 8:30. Right?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. See, I'll tell you, okay, we in the 9 p.m. batch, we just covered the core Python. What is variable function? Sorry, list tuple set dictionary. So those thing, I think, very silly things. That, don't worry, I will start from scratch, okay, for everyone. If you know and you want to skip that, you join 9 p.m. Otherwise, you join 8 p.m. 8:30.
8:30 is for only timing is only for 1 week, huh?
1 week.
And after that,
9
regular
p.m.
timing.
batch, you join regular, no confusion. But people who joined last week demo, for them it is 8:30. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, everyone. We'll connect tomorrow.
Thank you.
Ma'am, can you hear me? Sorry.
I have another call. Sorry, I have to drop. 10 o'clock I have. You can call, you have any urgent thing, then maybe 1 minute. Already I'm 1 minute late.
Oh, no, ma'am, it's
I'll,
okay. I'll call you tomorrow in the morning at 10 o'clock as we discussed.
yeah, sure. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.